If you want to see some amazing Dollar Tree Christmas decor DIYs and even recycled decor, including this stunning little North Pole post, then you would have to keep watching today's video. I am super excited for how these turned out, so let's jump right in. For the first one here, I have here this wooden sign that you can get from Dollar Tree. And then I have some red paint. I want to paint the inside of this sign in that red. It looks like I made two little fishes at the top there. I am just going to paint it in this red paint. And I'm just going along here close to the edge with my brush because it does have a lip. So it's not too hard to not get the red onto that white because I do want to keep the border white. And this paint is really nice and I love it. It's really nice and thick. You only need one coat and then I'm going to let that dry really good. I do end up removing that hanger because I don't need it. So once I get that removed, I do have this pack of little wooden bells and I want to place that as a border around this whole thing. But before I do that, I do want to place my legs. I'm just using these little knobs here and I got these from Hobby Lobby. I'm placing 3 down, going sort of in a triangle form so that way it can stand up nicely for us. And then we're going to take those wooden bells and we're just going to arrange them around this whole thing, creating a nice little border. And I do set them up nicely so that way I can see where they need to be placed. And I'm simply using my hot glue for this. And then once I get those on there, I am going to want to paint them white because I want them to match the white that is on the outside of the frame. So I'm going to paint all of them in white, make sure I get the backs of them as well too, and then let that dry as well. So we are making a little serving tray for Santa and it turned out super cute, and there's a ton of ways that you can do this and make it your own. You can make bigger ones, smaller ones, and I really love how it turned out. And now once I have all of those painted, I do want to also take these mini bells and cover up the tiny holes that are at the top of them because they do have little holes on the top. So I'm just going to place them down on each one using my hot glue gun. Then I took these sticker letters that I got from one of my local dollar stores and I just put down the word Santa. Super simple. Now I'm going to go in with some Mod Podge and place it down on there so that way it can really seal in those words. And I'm going to place it on the entire center of the sign where all of the red is. That way it can completely protect it. You know, once you lay down that glass of milk, it's going to be cold or whatever you're going to put on here so that way it can protect that wood and that surface. So now I'm just taking the lid of that Mod Podge and I am gonna draw out 2 circles, and this is gonna indicate where we should place the cookies and the milk. And once I get my circles on there, I am gonna go in with my Cricut and just cut out the words milk and cookies and place that onto the sign indicating where each one goes. And that is it for this little simple DIY, you guys. I think it turned out really awesome. I just added a little decorative string around the border and also a sparkly bow, and that was it. I think it is super beautiful and easy to do and such a great DIY if you have kids. You have to let me know what you think down below in the comments. Next up, you guys, I have here this dusty, raggedy, old little spindle. This has been sitting in my basement for a really long time, so I do have to clean it up really good. And I'm just wiping it up here with some disinfectant wipes, and you can just see how dirty it is. So I'm just gonna wipe it down really good, get all of that dirt and dust off, and I am gonna also pat it dry with a paper towel so that way it can be nice and dry for me when I start to paint. And I am going to paint it using some white paint to freshen it up a bit and make it alive again. So we are going to paint the entire thing and let that dry. Guys, this DIY turned out absolutely stunning, and this one is my favorite from today, and maybe one of my favorites of all time because I really do love how it turned out. It is just super gorgeous, and I can't wait to show you the final look. And what a great way to just reuse something that's just sitting around, and it looks absolutely stunning after. All it needs is a little bit of work and creativity, and you can definitely make something out of nothing. This next part of this spindle DIY involves me using these acrylic paint markers, and I want to thanks to Hippie Crafter for sponsoring this portion of this video. They sent me these two items, the heat gun and the paint markers. This is their heat gun here. Now it's pretty basic, right? It's just a heat gun. I do wish the cord was a bit longer because it doesn't reach the top of my table. I kind of had to hold the extension cord up, but that's the only thing. And I am just drying off the white paint here, and it does the job. It's just a heat gun to dry your paint so you can move and work quickly. And here are the acrylic paint markers. Now I do love this. They come with all of these beautiful colors, and I am not gonna lie, I already opened one of them, the white one, and they are amazing, and they all come individually wrapped, which is cool too, because if one of them were to break open or something, it would not make a mess and destroy everything else. There's also 25 extra tips, which is lovely. Now I'm taking this red one here. We have to press it down to get that ink flowing, and there it goes. I am gonna turn the tip over. It's super easy. You just have to pull it out and then put it back in the other way, because I do want the thinner side of the tip. So I am going to use that for the lines of this spindle, because I want to make it look almost candy cane-ish, but I want the red lines to be on the markings of this spindle. So I am just tracing over those lines with this paint marker, and it's doing the job just fine and perfect, and I love it. So I am just going to continue that down, all the way down, for all of my lines. Don't mind my ashy hands here. It gets quite cold back here in the craft room, and sometimes I forget to put lotion. But yeah, I am giving you a close up here on what I'm doing. Really simple, you guys. And then once I get that done, it is looking really beautiful already, and you can see the transformation. Now I'm taking some red paint, and you can see I'm even dabbing some off, because I just want the slightest bit just to highlight the pole and the edges. So friends, I do have a discount code for you if you want to check out Hippie Crafter. I do recommend you to check them out if you love crafting and you love all that type of stuff. They do have some great products, and you will get 10% off. Just check the description box below for all of that information. And their website, their paint markers are absolutely amazing, and I love it. They do the job really nicely, so go make sure you check them out. So now I am just taking that same red paint, and you can see I'm just distressing the top there, and then I'm also going in along the edges of where the lines are that I just painted on with the markers, and I am making it look as if it's chipped, almost where it would be chipped if it's like old and weathered. So I'm just doing that, and I am just going to continue that. Once I get it all nicely distressed, I have here this glass little lampshade that is perfect because it has a hole in the bottom that will go right over that little knob at the top of this spindle, and that is just perfect. So I am gonna just take my hot glue gun. I do recommend you to use E6000 because this is quite heavy, so you do want it to be held on there really good, but I don't have E6000 at the moment, so I'm just going to use my hot glue and just put that together for you guys. And I am just simply going to place it at the bottom of the lampshade and just stick it right down just like this. And here is a different angle at it because it is now getting a bit too tall for the camera angle, so I am just showing you here how it looks the entire thing. I did put a little bit of frosted greenery around the lampshade, and here is the entire thing. I do have it in this bucket that I want to place it down in, so I am gonna fill it up with some rocks, and I even try to fill it up with a little bit of some leftover pillow stuffing, because I didn't have enough rocks, and I tried so many things to stuff inside of here to make it stand up straight, because I didn't have, enough of the rocks. And like I said, it is quite heavy, and it's really good. It's a really good, nice, sturdy DIY. So now you can see I have the rocks in here, and what I want to do is I want to add some moss onto the rocks to cover up those rocks nicely. So I'm just gonna take my hot glue gun, place some on top of the rocks, and then just push down that moss. And we are going to even cover up that moss using some paint to make it look like snow has fallen on top of it, because after all, this is a Christmas DIY, and I wanted to match the greenery that I placed at the top around the lampshade. So I am going to just take some white paint and dab it on top. Super simple. And I am just showing you exactly what I'm doing here when I'm placing my moss down. Really simple, you guys. And then I am showing you again a different angle of it. Here it is. It is almost done, and she is looking beautiful. I really love how it's turning out so far. I am gonna need to place some lights, of course, inside of that glass. So I have here these lights, these snowflake lights that you can get from Dollar Tree, and they are pretty bright, and I love how they look inside. So I'm gonna just place those down, and I do place the battery pack right inside with it, because you can't even tell that it's in there and you can't see it. Plus, if you try to leave it hanging out, it will look ugly. So I think you should just place it right down inside of there. And here goes the final step for this DIY. I have here this little arrow that I am gonna be re-DIYing from a Halloween DIY that I did. I'm just going to remove that wording and paint it in some white paint. And then I cut on my Cricut North Pole, so that way it's kind of showing you where the North Pole is, and I think that's super cute. So I am just painting it here, and I don't go super like too crazy with a full coverage coat, because I do think it looks nice. A little bit distressed because it is going to be weathered and everything like that. Snow falls on this, so it is going to be weathered. So I am going to paint that, let it dry, place the wording, and then just hot glue that down right onto the front of my post. And that was it, you guys. Quick little trick that I did, I just took my hot glue and placed it along the edges of that arrow to make it look like icicles and snow drippings, and that was it, and I love it. Look how stunning this is. I am super proud of this DIY, and I hope you like it. You have to let me know what you think of this one down below in the comments, because I would love to hear your thoughts. And I think this would look super beautiful outside if you have a porch or even in your front steps. I think it would look super beautiful outdoors as well. Let me know what you think. Last up, you guys, I have here this glass vase from Dollar Tree, and these are new. I never seen ones in this square shape, so I picked one up. And I also have these mini ornaments that I got from Dollar General, because they are cheaper than Dollar Tree, and they are the exactly the same from Dollar Tree, so you can get them at Dollar General and save some of your money. And now I'm just gonna take the little hanging parts off of the ornaments, because I don't need them. I'm gonna arrange the ornaments onto this glass vase. I'm just gonna use my hot glue gun for that, and I'm gonna start with the silver, then I'm gonna use the white, and then I'm gonna add the clear, just so it can look like almost a gradient of color going from dark to light. So I'm gonna put the silver, the white, and then the clear ones, and I am gonna stack those three up on top of each other. I'm just showing you here the two sides that I did, Now that is quickly done, and you can see how beautiful that is. And I added a satin black bow, and I'm going in with some Mod Podge inside. I'm kind of struggling here because the brush isn't long enough, but I'm just trying my best to get it all over the four sides because I want to add glitter inside of this vase. I thought that would make it look even more nicer. So I'm just taking that Mod Podge, adding a nice thin layer, and then I'm going to go in with some silver glitter and just pour some inside really beautifully. And then I'm gonna just move around this vase so all of that glitter gets a chance to go all over where the glue is. And then once that is dried, once it gets nice and dried, it is gonna look very beautiful. And all I do is add in some silver little stems that I had, and I think this turned out absolutely gorgeous, and this will tie in so good to a winter wonderland themed if you have that going on in your home. I think it turned out super beautiful. Let me know what you think. And also, thank you so much for tuning into today's video and spending some time with me. I truly appreciate you, and I love every moment that you spend here with me. It truly means a lot. Do give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed today's DIYs, and do consider joining the family by hitting that subscribe button. I will see you on the next one. Take care. God bless. Bye.